going beyond this individuality. Here is actually like no labels, no concepts. So even now, how would you be now if you had no past memories? All gone, all swiped away. What if you have no name? And what if there is no desire for any future goal or anything? There is no desire, no search for anything. What if you don't want anything? Yeah, like all of that is all faded away. That's all of the individuality. Yeah, but what if there is no name, no label, no concept? Like, who would you be right now? In this instance, right now? So today's topic is about beyond the individual self, going beyond the individual self, from a non-dual perspective, from a non-dual way of being. We will dedicate this time to inquire, investigate, and explore what that is. And also, we can expose that which is limiting, that which includes suffering, that which creates the illusion of distance, separation, division, and all the issues and challenges and resistances that the individual self holds. Many times we need to recognize what we are not, so that we are able to see more of who we truly are. And on this path, this direct path of self-inquiry, we come to and really expose the limitations of the individual self. So the individual self is this kind of container and let's say point of view from which we function from, that in some degree or another, some level, we might feel limited, we might feel restricted, and also that includes all the suffering that we have experienced as humans on this earth. That includes all the conditionings that we have adopted. Some of them have already been exposed. and some of them you're still functioning from, so not yet being exposed, still interwound, and in a way misidentifying yourself as the individual self. Now that in itself, you are bound to experience suffering, because the individual self is actually not what it appears to be. There are plentiful of twisted concepts, twisted ideas, wrong beliefs, and the individual self also believes that the way he or she acts out is kind of the way it should be. There's a certain justification to that. There's a certain justification to that. Now, we've, heard, many times this justification can speak out like this, like, oh, I'm human. I'm here to be human. I'm here to experience what it is to be human. There's a lot of layers in that. It really depends. It really depends whom is, speaking and where from one is speaking. It makes a whole lot of difference. This human beingness is still evolving. Is on this path of evolution, just like any other race in this entire universe. Every race in the universe is evolving. So, as this human beingness is evolving, we are transcending and breaking through the individual self. We are breaking through our own limitations, in any way you perceive your limitations. In any level of consciousness, there are limitations. And in the deeper or higher you go, you will find limitations, and you simply expose them, to the light of your awareness, and they simply start clearing out of your way. So this individual self can also be seen or experienced as many times resisting changes, resisting differences, but also striving to actually become the one. On a deep level, even the individual self strives to become whole and one. It is very contradictory, because from the individual self alone, it is impossible to be whole, to be one conscious awareness. It's impossible if the identity if you are subscribing to that individual self. Because the individual self in itself, it is bound, it is limited. So many times, people run around trying to express their freedom, expressing freedom through many ways, even through maybe creativity, trying to find one's own individuality, one's own uniqueness. And yes, there are plentiful of people who are still looking and trying to find their voice in this world, still trying to find their unique expression in this world, their unique imprint in this world. But from a deeper level or higher perspective of consciousness, in itself, the individual self can't break free. It tries to break free. I'm sure you've tried 1,000 times to feel that sense of freedom. Whether you enjoy traveling, whether you enjoy retreating, whether you enjoy painting or dancing or whatever it is, just recognize that there is a strive to feel that sense of freedom. But in itself, through the individual self alone, it's bound, it's limited. Thus, I'm sure you've had experiences where that sense of freedom, it comes temporarily and it goes. It disappears. And then this individual self is struggling so much effort is put into the individual self to have that next experience, to feel some kind of sense of freedom. Some do that through experiencing plant medicine. Others do it through experiencing some tantric experiences. There's so many ways, even on the spiritual realms, that the individual self continues striving for that next moment to sense some kind of freedom. Though, if we are truly honest, we come to know that these are experiences and they're temporary and they come and they go. And it leaves us, as if something is lacking, that we are separate and somehow in distance, and these whole ideas and concepts and conditions play out on various degrees, but because they are still somehow related to that individual self. So, the individual self can try to sustain itself. Yes, it does not want to. It does not want to die. It does not want to disintegrate. There is a certain force that wants to survive, that wants to be something, be someone. Yeah, there is that kind of force within it, of effort, of trying to become something that you idealize, or that you project somehow an image of yourself that you might think that that image that you project is going to fulfill you, fulfill all your desires, and through that projection of some imaginary future of yours is going to break you free. Yeah. So here I'm just also sharing on various levels. Yeah, various levels. This can touch you where you are at within yourself. And of course, all of you here have been doing a lot of, great inner work, so to speak. And you're always surprised by the next exposure of what kind of concept or function that's been playing through you. So on our return, back to our naturalness, we're exposing that which we are not. That which we are not it's being exposed, through, let's say, a clearer seeing of through your consciousness. So in the next moment when you experience some kind of resistance, some kind of fighting the present moment, some kind of unacceptance of what is, take a moment and pause really and see who is functioning right now, see who is at play. And with just a little bit of inquiry, you come to realize when there is this individuality that on some level, it is struggling either to feel whole, to feel free, to feel heard, to be acknowledged, to be in peace, or something that is actually lacking. So as we have illuminated a bit of what this individual self can look like, how about now we kind of look beyond the individual self. Beyond the individual self is much closer. Yeah, it is much closer to you and closer as you. So what is beyond this individual expression of this human form is unbound by any individuality, by any conditions, by any past life experiences. Yeah, you're in what is beyond the individual self is eternally here, eternally present beyond time and space. Going beyond going beyond this individuality, here is actually like no labels, no concepts. So even now, it's like, how would you be now? As a little exercise, how would you be now if you had no past memories? All gone, all swiped away. No memory at all. What if you have no name? Like no name. It's gone. And what if there is no desire? No desire for any future projection, concept, goal, or anything. There's no desire. There's no search for anything. What if you don't want anything? Yeah, like all of that is all faded away. That's all of the individuality. Yeah, but what if there is no name, no label, no concept? Like, who would you be right now? In this instance, right now? Even there's like even no grounds beneath you, because that too, the grounds beneath you, the sense of some kind of security, some kind of stability, that too it's gone. There's no ground, no security, no stability. And even if the next thing comes up right now, just watch that play, how it speaks. Maybe it says but, or maybe it diverts you somewhere else. Just see what is being exposed in your conscious awareness now. See what it's being exposed right in front of you. And don't touch it. You don't need to go into it at all. Just exposing into the light of your conscious seeing. Who would you be right now, where there is no individuality, no particular expression, no search or effort in any way? Or if there's like nowhere to go, really? What if there is no next step for you? no next step. The future is collapsed. No future. Who would you be right now? And what if you have nothing to heal? Because this is a big thing for many. What if you have nothing to heal? Who will you be now? And allow what is being exposed to be. Don't touch anything. So what if in this moment time collapses, space collapses? Who will you be? And there is a saying that follows this. And it goes like this: when you lose everything, you become everything. So when you clear all the stuff, all the things that hide your true essence. Once it is cleared, then you gain everything. You gain all. You become all. You realize that it is all inclusive actually, and that everything is within you already. All the desires, all the search, it has always been here already. So it is only through the mechanism of self-preservation, mechanism of self-limitation, mechanism of self-sabotaging in some way or another that keeps you bound in that individuality. As when you, so to speak, surrender that, not give that any fuel, any power. This boundless self, you, your natural essence, becomes ever more evident, experienced, real. You come to even realize yourself that it is impossible within your natural self to have lack or distance or separation. It doesn't even exist as your natural self. It wasn't even real. And it was really an illusion. And that is what gives us all an eternal freedom, a freedom which is not conditioned by any spirituality, by any experiences of any kind, any kind. Because your true freedom is prior than your desires. The eternal freedom is prior to any aesthetic experience. Your true freedom is prior to any even divine love, let alone all the other denser levels and individualities. And really thank God, as a saying, thank God that consciousness can be manipulated, which we all are pretty aware how consciousness has been suppressed on this planet, keeping humanity from evolving. So there's been quite some challenges here on this planet. And manipulations, and anywhere you possibly look is not supportive of our evolution. Thus, when you start investigating inside of you and inquiring and exposing all that which you are not, you come to yourself, to your natural self, and you realize that has not been touched. It's untouchable by anything, like your essence, your eternal self, your conscious awareness is untouchable, is unbreakable. Like no one can really touch you, let alone harm you or break you or limit you in any way. So that is how essential it is to know yourself now. To be clear of who you are, so that you can choose wisely. Because in the deepest of ways, you are the actual creator of your own life experience.